It's alive!
Peggy, can you hear?
It's alive!
I don't hear the stuff, Tim.
It's okay. They hear.
Culture.com
Calm down.
presents Dead On Movie Reviews.
Tim's in trouble.
For those of you watching at home, I lost control of the show. We didn't even get on the opening credits. Salutations and mutilations. You're listening to Other World and Culture presents Dead On Movie Reviews. Tonight, we present horror movie reviews and lively debate here on otherworldlyculture.com and on future select Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central. You can join our live chat at that time by clicking on live shows link at otherworldlyculture.com website. I'm your host, Tim Kretschmann, and we're coming to you from the land of lakes and landfills. In smelly Muskego, Wisconsin. It's my honor to introduce the Faculty of Fear panel presenting tonight's lectures. Let's see. Okay, we got it. All right. And we're going to start out. We have Peggy is on the line. Peggy, tell us about what you've been doing with books, etc.
With books?
Yeah. Don't you write them?
Well, yeah. Usually, I haven't really. My dog's coming to say hello. I haven't written anything new, but you can always go to my website. I have links to everything that I've worked on. Plague of Man is my latest one, with my buddy Don England, and yeah.
Fantastic. And you can check her out at, okay, let me see if I got it right. themonkeyisin.com, is that?
You got it.
I did get it right. Okay. And in our other studio, we have Tracey DeLeon. She's our actress friend, and she continues to make great movies, including Family Possessions and Nun's Curse. I think both of those are streaming now on Amazon Prime, if I remember correctly. Everything's Amazon Prime for me, so that's how I remember. Tracey, welcome to the show.
What up, Tim? Hey, girl. Hey, Peggy. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How you doing?
I'm ready for the night. Fun with friends.
Okay, so yeah, I'm completely outnumbered. I am used to a show with a lot of testosterone, and I am out of my element. It's going to be a very interesting night, and you all get to enjoy it this evening here on Dead On Movie Reviews. And I think we are going to start with our good friend Peggy. Peggy, tell us what you have been watching. There we go.
I have to put my glasses on so I can check my notes. Sucks getting old, people. I should say rewatched, not watched, but rewatched the 1981 My Bloody Valentine. The original, thank you very much. We can talk about the remake in a second. But for anyone who doesn't know what this is, it's actually kind of like almost like an indie horror of the time. It's a small mining town in Canada that in 1960 had a horrific mining accident because of some lack in managerial and safety regulations. Because every year this town has a Valentine's Day party, dance kind of thing. So the managers of the mine were like, yeah, you guys got this, we're leaving. While they left, there's an explosion. 5 miners are trapped. By the time the rescue crew gets through, only 1 is alive, and he's lived by eating the rest of his coworkers. So after a little stint in the mental hospital for a year, he comes back on Valentine's. He comes back on Valentine's Day and kills the 2 managers that are responsible. And he tells the town, if you guys ever have another Valentine's Day party, I'm going to come back and kill you all. So every year I'm going to come in and check to make sure you guys are behaving. So 20 years go by, it's nice and quiet.
Naughty, naughty.
I know.
He's like an angry school teacher, is what
Right?
he is.
Yes. That's kind of what.
With a
that's
pickaxe.
Yeah, exactly. This
Naughty
is
children.
Harry Warden is the name of the guy. So 20 years go by, and the young people of the town are like, "This is all a bunch of crap. It's just and we're having a party. Screw you." And what do you think happens? I'll give you 3 guesses.
And the first
Harry
2 are no.
decides to come back and start killing everybody because they didn't listen to his warning. So that's kind of the short, happy version, the short and sweet description of it. And I love this film for many reasons. I think it's one of the first slasher films. I think I saw this before even like Friday the 13th or Halloween.
I was shocked to find out it was 89.
It's 81.
80.
Whoa.
It's
Did I
1981. So
typo?
it's after Halloween. It's after Friday the 13th. So they may have been trying to kind of, hey, let's make a slasher here in Canada.
A flasher? I
Yeah,
liked
not
flasher.
That's different.
I like that idea.
But I don't know if they were trying to, kind of cash in on the whole
because
genre,
I saw
but-
89 and I was like, that's got to be wrong. Okay, it's
No,
81.
it's 81. Nope,
Okay.
1981. But it's still after like the 2 big franchises that kind of launched.
That launched it, right. Well, there was, what was it, Black Christmas? A lot of people think that was
and that was
maybe
70.
the first. Some say Peeping Tom. There's some debate.
Yeah.
That's a good one too.
I think Black Christmas is where it started becoming a true slasher. I think that was a true slasher. And this movie, this was early enough in the whole slasher, every horror movie was a slasher movie, where they were still deciding they were going to be creative from time to time. Later on, they stopped being creative. This one, I think, is creative still.
Yeah, I think like the whole wearing the mask thing isn't really necessarily new, but the mining gear and using a pickaxe as kind of his signature, it's not the only way, as you can see by that little screenshot, that he kills people, but it is Harry Warden's signature, so I guess like Michael from Halloween has the butcher knife, and Jason machete is kind of like the big one, but I really
Jason's got whatever is handy.
Exactly. I know he kind of is. He's very multi-talented in that aspect, but I like just the whole thing. This was actually filmed in a small mining town in Canada, I think in Saskatchewan somewhere, and so it even just and because it's from the early 80s, before HD and 4K and all that crap, it still kind of has a little bit of that gritty.
Right.
Dirty, like the film looks kind of dirty or whatever, but I like that feel of it, and it's such a small town, and there's not a lot of big name actors in this at the time. There were like a couple well-known people, but so the acting's not top notch, but I think
it was
makes
Canadian
it a little bit
too, right?
What's that?
Wasn't this made in Canada? Too?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
This is Canadian horror.
This was the Canadian actors as well.
Yeah. Most of them were from Canada. A couple of like the guy who played the sheriff and the mayor, I think, were from. I don't know about the mayor, but the sheriff, I think, was from the U.S., like New York. And actually, the guy who plays TJ was from Britain. But I never knew that until I went and looked up, and I was like, "Holy crap, he's actually from England." Okay, I never would have.
Did he adopt a good Canadian accent? Then,
So
he might have just been lost. That happens sometimes. They start out in Britain and they end up in Canada. It's common.
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know, but
I think what's scary is this guy's mustache. That's on the
oh
screen
god,
right
but
now.
like you need the wax. Yeah, it's so funny. I think I like, and the pacing on this is really good. It never really feels like it drags. To me, there's a kill like just a couple of minutes in. Yeah. It's like you don't have to wait very long for the action to hit, which I really appreciate. And I think, there are a couple characters that are cliche, like the bartender, whose the character name is actually Happy, which I think is hilarious. Right. He's the, you better heed my warning, you youngsters, or, it's cliche now, but it actually works in this movie. It's so funny. I don't know how it does, but it does. And And I think just the whole feel of it is fantastic. And what I found out when I was doing research on this, the version I have seen my whole life is actually a very chopped, edited version. The MPAA really? Had a field day with this. They're like, if you want an R rating, you have to cut out gore, all this gore and violence. So there are 9 minutes actually cut out.
9
of the film.
9.
And I was telling Tim,
that's actually a lot.
I just ordered my uncut, unedited version, so it should be coming pretty soon. Nice. And it's like, I guess, I think it was, Paramount had the rights originally, and they refused to do an uncut. So Lionsgate bought it years later, and I think they originally released it the year of the remake in 2009, which I thought was kind of funny. Yeah, I know.
Well, there was renewed interest. I remember that because I had not seen My Bloody Valentine when it came out. I honestly, slashers, I've come around to them. I was always a monster kid. I liked the King Kong, Jaws. I liked Frankenstein and vampires and that sort of thing. Wasn't really into the slashers stuff. And the first Halloween, it really scared me to death. That one scared me a lot. So I kind of steered clear of the slashers for quite a while. And I actually saw the remake before I saw the original.
Interesting.
And
so have you seen both now?
Yeah, I've seen both at this point. The thing that I like
haven't.
Oh, really?
I have to
get on it.
Yeah.
Get up on it.
The thing that I like is because the mask is a gas mask, it's actually something plausible that somebody might wear. Like the Halloween mask in Halloween. On Halloween, it wouldn't arouse suspicion, but the rest of the year, it certainly would. Anybody that's walking around with a hockey mask, this guy's up to no good. I'm actually surprised we haven't seen a slasher come out yet called Pandemic Man, and it's somebody wearing a surgical mask.
I'm sure there will be one.
It's gotta happen.
I don't doubt it.
It's gotta happen. And then, a scene where he just walks in and there's 500 other people with masks on, That
would be very creepy, actually.
Yeah. I'll be honest, all this surgical mask stuff, it does creep me out because I can't tell when somebody's smiling. I can't tell if they're sticking their tongue out at me. I don't know, and it kind of throws me off. And I have a friend that's partially deaf, and he reads lips, and he's like, I'm completely deaf right now.
Oh, man.
Because
that's awful.
He can't communicate, so he walks around with a notebook. That's what you got to do,
Right.
But
he could enjoy this because Harry doesn't talk.
Yeah, he's not Freddy Krueger, is he?
No,
he
just stands around menacingly and breathing like Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Holding a pickaxe. And that actually is quite intimidating because Harry's kind of like a tall man. He's actually quite an imposing figure.
Yeah.
Tall like the Hellraiser guy?
Not that tall.
Yeah.
But for a regular guy, probably 6 foot.
Yeah, I would say Michael Myers height.
Kid. That guy did.
Yeah, for someone like me who's 5'4", that's intimidating.
It is intimidating, Peggy. I'm 5'4" too.
Something else we have.
And I'm 6 foot.
And 6'10".
Well, you guys have met Mike. Mike scares me. Mike is huge. I think he's like 6'3" or something. I'm like, that's a big fella.
We're talking about the remake in 2009 that had Jensen Ackles in it. Jensen Ackles, I met Jensen and Jared Padalecki at a Supernatural convention, and Jensen is 6'1", Jared is 6'4", and I stood between them for a photo op, and I was what the hell? That was kind of intimidating.
I'm actually surprised that they're both tall because a lot of movie stars you hear are pretty short,
They're huge. I think I came up to Jared's armpit, and on Jensen I was just to his shoulder. Yeah, and I told him, I'm like, I feel like an Oompa Loompa standing between the two of you. It's just ridiculous. So yeah. Anyway,
Fantastic.
off track.
Okay, it's a slasher movie. You have to have one. What's your favorite kill?
I think that's so funny because I wrote down a list of my favorite things, and I think that the lady right here in the red sweater, her name's Mabel. Her death is actually one of the more creative, I think.
Okay.
And it's a little sad because there's kind of an implied romance between her and the sheriff, who's the guy in the leather jacket there.
Right.
But it's never realized. It's like they never have a chance to actually, like, hey, let's go on a date. You know, it's just like, oh, maybe we should. And they never get a chance to do it because Mabel ends up getting killed by Harry. Part of that, I think, has been cut out from the edited version. But when her body is discovered, it's. Can I tell the whole scene because it's?
It's from 1981. I think we're
safe
to move forward 40 years later.
Well, what it is, it's like she disappears. So the sheriff comes looking for her, and she runs a laundromat. So there's a couple dryers running, and he's kind of walking around looking for her, and he's like sniffing, and I'm like, okay, what's he smelling? And he's walking around, and he finally sees the dryer that's got all this blood smeared on the inside. Mm-hmm. Opens it, she drops out, like half cooked. She's had her heart cut out. And it's like he was smelling her cooking. Like as he was walking around the laundromat. And I'm like, oh my God. And I think as she's being attacked by Harry, she's a brilliant actress. The only other thing I know her from is the Anne of Green Gables miniseries.
Oh, really?
And she was one of the older characters, and she was fantastic at like really emoting that absolute fear that there's this giant man coming after her with a pickaxe in mining outfit, and she's screaming, and then when the sheriff discovers her in the dryer, and he's been like smelling like, what's that cooking? What am I smelling? You know? Then she drops out of the dryer. I'm like, holy crap.
Yo.
That's hardcore.
That's
man.
my pal
hardcore.
Stu. Yeah.
That's stanky.
Yeah. So I can only imagine, like, what is that? Bacon? Pork? What am I smelling? Like, why is there food smell in here? That was actually my favorite death. But probably one of my favorite scenes is when in the mine, when they have all their dirty uniforms, they have them hanging up on hooks. And you pull a cord and it'll drop it down so you can wear it. There's a girl who's in there by herself and all these suits just start dropping around her. No matter which way she turns, she gets blocked by this thing dropping down in front of her. It is such a creepy scene because she's all alone and she has no way to get out. And then that's when the kid gets her, but it's like,
But that's good suspense in there. You know, a lot of the slasher movies, my complaint is they go strictly for gore and they don't build the scene. It's like, okay, here he is, and now he's going to do something disgusting. Not to pick on the movie directly, but Hatchet hits me as that. It's like, it's just a joke. This is the joke. We're going to do an over-the-top kill. Well, you know, great, but I want the stalking to happen.
Yes.
That's, you know, part of what I liked with Halloween was, the closet scene is what killed me, was the closet scene, because you think that she's won for a second and you see her in the foreground and in the background he sits up. I'm actually getting chills thinking about that scene because it's so creepy, and from that moment you're like, oh, she's screwed. There is nothing she can do. She went after him with the knitting needles. I mean, what is she gonna have to do? She's just a babysitter. That's probably the worst weapon she has available to her. So
it's always the babysitter.
It's always babysitters. Yeah. Well,
and actually, like you were talking about building tension. Like in the remake, do you remember when Harry is like coming down the mine and he's hitting all the lights?
Yeah.
The light bulbs.
Damn it, I need to see the remake.
That scene is fantastic. That's very good at building tension.
I think that movie is, the remake is unduly attacked. I think part of it is because it was so much My Bloody Valentine 3D, and they were pushing the 3D like crazy. But it was a good enough movie that when I saw it at the theaters, I was like, I gotta find the original. Had it been a sucky movie, I would have been like, well, I did that, and that would have been it, you know?
Yeah.
So that is kind of the problem with when these remakes are done poorly. You're afraid that the original will never be seen again. But, you know, it doesn't make it worse or better. Did you calm her down yet, Tracey?
Tim and I sure did. He must have seen his skateboard.
Give the doggy a little bit of Jägermeister. He'll get sleepy.
Oh, God. I ain't giving him none of that.
No Jägermeister.
He'd look at me like, what the hell is this shit?
It kind of
like...
Dogs love Jägermeister, just so you know.
Man, you don't know my dog. He's the guy that wears the fedora, and he's like, now listen here, lady. And this is what I'm going to have. On the rocks, please. That's my dog, Tim.
All right.
I'm serious.
Thanks,
He's
Tracey.
He's a dapper dog.
Okay. Is it time for grading yet, Peggy?
Yeah, I think I can go ahead and grade it. I give...
Hold on. I got to get everything set up for the big reveal. Everybody is sitting on pins and needle. What is she going to give this movie? I put in my guess.
I know.
Let me know.
I'm going to give this an A+.
Yes,
oh, what a shock. Yeah. What a shock. Exactly what I typed in while I was buying time. I had a feeling that it might come out that way. Fantastic.
There's very little I can find wrong with this film. So
it's a great movie, and people should check it out. It's a lot of fun. Hey, Tracey,
I'm going to.
Tracey, are you ready over there? Because I'm not going to go to you until you tell me you're ready.
Hey, Tim.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
All right. Tracey.
You ready, Tim?
What have you been watching?
I've been watching this supernatural clairvoyant film called The Gift about a tarot card reader who is widowed. That's what I've been watching. And I have to tell you, I was seriously surprised at this cast. And OMG.
I saw that cast.
I was like, what is wrong with you, Keanu? This ain't you, Keanu Reeves. This ain't you. But I love this you because this just shows your diversity. And I love it.
Well,
what else, Tim?
I saw when I was doing the research because I have not seen this movie. And
you haven't seen
I gotta find good clips and everything.
Did you find some good ones?
Yeah, I think so.
Good.
But I couldn't get over what a great cast it was. And then I looked, the director was Sam Raimi, who is one of my favorites, you know. Yep. So
that's
I
what
was
really drew me to pick this film. I'm really glad you didn't. How about that? I think when we first started talking, I don't remember when that was. You'll have to tell me. But you remember... You told me nobody ever sees anything that I haven't. Ha! I think I have, Tim.
Oh!
I've conquered that feat. Crop top time.
Well, it is going in a queue very, very soon.
Good. You need to watch it because it is a really good film, and the cast is it was exceptional. I was just blown away just by the cast, and
well, I'm a decent fan of Keanu, but I'm a huge fan of Kinnear. I just love Kinnear because I used to watch him on Talk Soup, and I thought that was the greatest thing I ever saw.
Yes, he was great on Talk Soup.
But and I could watch Katie Holmes just reading the newspaper.
I'm not a big fan of her, but she did a great job.
Yeah. I think I'm a fan of her for reasons that wouldn't make sense to you.
Huh?
I'm a fan of her for reasons that we're not going to get into.
Oh, I'm terrible. Then, Tim, you really need to watch this film, let me tell you. I think Peggy will agree if she's seen it.
Oh.
You see a lot of Katie Holmes in this film. Hey, Tim.
Okay.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Well, okay. So she's a clairvoyant. She has
Yes,
tarot
Kate
cards.
Blanchett is a clairvoyant tarot card reader, and it's based in a city in Georgia. I can't remember the name right now, but it's about, again, a widowed mother who makes a living off reading cards for people, but she's also clairvoyant.
Okay.
So it starts by her coming in to see the principal, which is Greg Kinnear. And because of the death of her husband, her children are having a hard time adjusting, of course. So the son is being bad, and she goes in to talk to the principal. And then in comes Katie Holmes when she's introduced into the film as Greg Kinnear's significant soon-to-be wife.
Okay.
So a mysterious murder happens in the town, and one girl who actually comes in to read or have Kate Blanchett read for her is Hilary Swank. I am telling you, this cast, I was just like, holy shit. I can't even believe it. I didn't even know about this film. But Hilary Swank comes into the film, and she is the essential redneck. I mean, if you can think of any redneck hillbilly, this is what Keanu is playing. Like, it was completely off what I've ever known him to do. Completely.
Okay.
And Hilary Swank is married to him in this film, and he's an abusive guy. Also, has many infidelities and things like that. So as she's asking Kate Blanchett, Hilary Swank, I don't remember their... Hold on, I'm in the other room because of, Rico, you may have seen something. Hold on, please. Where was I, Tim? My dog interrupted.
Get him, dog. Get him.
Yes.
Okay, so Hilary Swank went in for a reading.
Yeah.
And, as a woman, as another woman, I understand, hey, you need to understand that you have value, you have worth, you should find strength to leave and courage to leave. And, that's what she was saying to him, Kate Blanchett.
Okay.
And Keanu's character finds out that this tarot card reader is, giving his wife,
advice
confidence and stuff to leave. Yeah. So he comes in and he threatens Kate Blanchett. You better keep your mouth shut and things like that. Again, the well-known one guy, in that country town.
Yeah.
So eventually there's a murder, and it turns out that Katie Holmes' character is sleeping with everybody. And it is the character of Keanu Reeves, but she's engaged to the one that's, the principal, Greg Kinnear.
Okay.
So I'm not going to spoil it because I was like, no, it's this one. No, it's that one. No.
So is this more of a mystery?
That one.
Is this a mystery thriller, or what are we talking about here?
It's a supernatural thriller.
It is supernatural. Okay.
It is. Yes. Mm-hmm. I think it's a beautiful
I'll tell you,
story,
it sounds
actually.
a little bit like the setup to Shut Eye, one of my favorite TV series that's going on these days.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, Shut Eye is great on Hulu, and it's about a guy that is a scam artist at tarot, and then suddenly he starts being able to see. But it's mostly about scams and stuff. It's pretty cool. But the hook is she has this gift, and it's causing turmoil. With everybody.
And for instance, when she went into the principal's office to talk to Greg Kinnear, and after Katie Holmes came in, Katie's like, "Oh, you're a tarot card reader, aren't you? What do you see in our future?" And then right then and there, she has some sort of ability beyond what the town even can comprehend, if that makes sense.
Wow. Okay.
So it starts there, but I enjoyed it a lot. I'm actually very glad I found it.
Was Kate Blanchett good in this? Because I'll tell you, I've seen awesome Kate, and I've seen doesn't seem to have a personality, Kate Blanchett. I've seen it in a few movies where I'm like, okay, she's like underplaying this to the point where there's nothing. So was this one of her less showy roles, or?
I don't think so. I think every single person that was cast in this film not only showed diversity, but they showed, I didn't think anything other than, okay, she was a woman taking care of kids.
Okay.
I didn't think anything, outside of what those characters truly were.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my earbuds left. Hold on.
Yeah, I heard a
Today.
difference in your microphone, and I thought
Yeah.
maybe the dog was
Sorry,
making off
Tim.
with the phone.
My bad. It's always something, Tim. Come on, you know me.
I know what it's like with you actress snipes. I know.
Oh, is that how it goes then? Beep, beep, Tim. Beep, beep.
Oh,
shit.
and now that I've read it over the week, I get that reference. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Finally, that took me 6 months to read that thing to find the time. Oh,
Yeah, that's a long book, man.
Well, it gets repetitious. Okay, anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about this. I'm
No, we
trying
can talk
to
about
figure
whatever. Let's just talk about whatever.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just kidding, Tim. I want to talk about the gift.
I'm looking up Sam Raimi right now because I'm wondering when he made this movie. Was this before or
December
after the
2000?
Yeah, I'm saying in his career is what I'm trying to figure out.
Oh.
This was right after Drag Me to Hell. Really?
Oh, okay.
He
He's
he
busy.
does so
He was
much
busy.
TV. It's hard to.
I say Drag Me to
He's
Hell
got
is
a lot
very
of produce.
different.
Oh, I'm
Yes.
looking at his
Yes,
producer
very.
credits. Hold on. Okay, director.
Well, the cool thing is I think I can't remember the second screenplay writer, but
Oh
Billy
no,
Bob was
I
involved
had it
in
wrong. The Gift is before Spider-Man. This was actually the first movie before Spider-Man, and after
about that?
For Love of the Game.
Hey, that's a good
And this
movie,
was
too.
also after A Simple Plan, because the way you were describing this, it reminded me of A Simple Plan.
No,
No?
I don't think so.
Really? It kind of sounded that way to me, the way you described it. But
No,
No.
I don't think so. I think it's completely different.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
it might have the same principle, but it's completely the opposite direction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Same flow, different river.
Wow. Oh, now I see.
you
Oz the
said-
Great and
with Kate
Powerful was
Blanchett,
his
I can
follow-up
tell
to
you
Drag
that-
Me to Hell. Jeez.
What's that?
I just realized Oz the Great and Powerful was his follow-up to Drag Me to Hell. I hate that movie. I just
Wait,
hate
the
that.
Oz movie or the Drag Me to Hell movie?
Drag Me to Hell I like. I actually like it. It's not one of my top 10 by any stretch of the imagination, but I kind of like it. But Oz the Great and the Powerful, I've read 3 Oz books so far, and I love The Wizard of Oz, and I was just like, no, this isn't good compared to the musical. It isn't good compared to Return to Oz. It's just this thing. It bothered me as a movie.
Bothered.
Yes, I get bothered pretty easily.
Tracy, did you say Billy Bob Thornton was one of the writers?
Didn't he write part of the
Think so.
screenplay?
Hold
Let
on.
me-
I'm
hang on.
I'm in here. I'm in.
I can't
Yes,
remember-
Billy
I can't
Bob
remember the
Thornton
other
and
name.
somebody named Tom
There's somebody else.
Epperson.
Tom Epperson.
I don't know
Who
that.
the
Wait,
heck
that
is
sounds
that?
familiar. That
Tom
sounds like Law and Order or
Epperson
something.
Wrote. And I don't see any big hits here in his list. But he was
yeah,
on General
I thought it was
Hospital,
great
so that's
that he was
something.
involved too.
So there you go.
Billy
Bum,
Bob
bum.
Thornton. Okay, every time you bring up Billy Bob Thornton, I have to tell people.
Uh-oh.
If you
Okay.
haven't watched it yet, the first season of Fargo is one of the most fantastic things Billy Bob Thornton's ever been in. It is incredible.
Have
I
you seen
have to-
Longmire? Not to get off subject of
Which
the
one?
gift, but you brought it. Longmire.
Longmire.
It's a show.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
Longmire.
Is that like Fargo? It's like based in, where is this one based? I forget. I don't remember.
Actually, Fargo is very much like the movie, but they changed the characters and the relationships to each other in such a way that every time you go, oh, that's so and so character, they'll switch it up, and you'll be like, oh no, not exactly. And and Billy Bob plays almost like a puppet master type of villain, where he's kind of running everything, and he's very violent, but he is. It's one of those shows. I think it's either the 8th episode or the 9th episode. He is in a scene that you will remember years later afterwards, because it's such a great scene of just abject violence that he's a part of.
Okay then.
I believe it. Because Billy Bob's good in all sorts of movies.
Oh yeah. I have not seen. That's on my list of shame that I have not seen Sling Blade.
Oh my God! What, Tim?
Yeah, but I did watch all 3 seasons of Goliath. Now
you haven't seen Sling Blade?
I have not. It's sitting. What? It is sitting in that queue, and stuff keeps sliding in front of it. Tim. Well, it's not horror, and right now I'm assigned so many movies on these other podcasts. It's kind of, it's like it's moving down. I don't know how.
It needs to move up. That's a good movie. Yeah. He did a great job in that film. Really good job.
I know. I've heard that objectively for years. Okay. Hey, we got to get to the grading, I think.
Are we going to grade
Here we
now,
go.
Tim?
Let me get out the grade book. All right, I got the grade book out. And I am locking in my prediction of her grade, and we'll see what you what you say.
Ready?
Yes.
It's an A, Tim. Just a regular A, not a minus or a plus.
Well,
just an A.
I guessed a B. So
you said a B.
I was under on that one. I thought maybe you're talking it up a little more than it was, but
no, I really no. I'm like the cast is. You haven't. Wait until you watch it. Just make sure that and Sling Blade is on your list.
This is going to slide in front of Sling Blade. This is going to slide in ahead of it. That's what's going to happen. This is what always happens to Sling Blade. You are part of what's stopping me from seeing Sling Blade, Tracy. Just so you know.
No, don't put that on me, Tim.
I'm completely putting it on you.
Peggy, help.
I haven't actually seen Sling Blade either, so.
Peggy.
I know.
Oh my gosh,
I
it's
think
not an NEQ because I don't really care about Billy Bob Thornton. So
watch Fargo.
Like
I felt the same way.
Story.
Peggy. I watched Fargo and I started seeking out almost everything he's done because of that movie or that TV series. It was that good.
It was just Sling Blade for me.
Okay, I will seek it out.
All right, it is time for my movie, and I forgot which one I'm doing. Oh, that's right.
Tim's turn. Tim's turn.
Look at that. We're doing The Conjuring. So,
what'd you say?
Huh?
What are you doing?
I'm doing the movie The Conjuring.
Are you being difficult with this?
I am outnumbered.
No, I promise I'm not.
I am outnumbered.
No.
Here,
he's going to put you on probation again.
I looked this
probation.
Double secret probation. I looked this up because I remember this being a hit. I didn't realize it was this big of a hit. They made this movie for $20 million. It grossed $319 million.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I have always said if I was ever going to invest in a movie, it'd be a horror movie every time because the upside is ridiculous on these things.
Mm-hmm.
It made $41 million in its opening weekend. Nobody had even seen it and known it was good yet. At that point.
Wow.
I'm not afraid to say this. I think The Conjuring is one of the scariest movies that's been made. I'll put it in like my top 10 actually scary movies.
Mhm.
Do I need to put that on my list then? Because I haven't watched any
You
of them.
haven't seen
It's
The
a
Conjuring?
really good one.
Oh, yeah. Don't watch the other Conjuring movies without having seen this, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the other movies are all lesser than this movie. This
Yeah,
movie is
that's-
really good. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar, here's my 10-second synopsis of it. This is the story of Ed and Lorraine Warren, who
Yes.
are the people that supposedly went to
Paranormal.
the Amityville horror house and investigated that. And that's very controversial, and I'm not going to talk about it. I don't care. But this is supposedly a true story that happened to the Perron family. And they had 5 girls. And they bought an old farmhouse at a church auction. And this place is possessed. The house is
Possessed.
the house is really messed up. Very early on, the dog doesn't want to go into the house. They feel cold breezes in areas. There's a smell of rancid meat around the place, which I really appreciated how they did that in this movie, because you can't explain smells very good in movies. You know, you can show stuff, you can hear stuff, but smells, they did a good job of kind of showing when that bad smell was around, with the actors just kind of go, ew, what's that? You know, and it's a little thing, but it did a lot for me. An interesting fact about this movie, it has very little profanity. There's very little swearing. There's no sex or nudity in it at all. And most of the violence is without blood. You know, it's somebody pulled by a leg or something. And this movie was rated R strictly on how frightening of a movie it was.
Yeah, I believe it.
There are not many where that's happened. It's usually, you know, violence or swearing. Those are the biggies. And in horror, once in a while, it's, you know, it's the nakedness. But it's primarily those two. And this thing is just, in fact, if it wasn't a scary movie, you could watch this with kids. There's very little going on there as far as violence. I mean, one of the scariest scenes in the movie is just clapping a hand twice. That's one of the
somebody
scariest
just clap? Do I have to
goddamn
watch for the
things.
clap?
No, it isn't somebody catching the clap. No, Tracy, thank you for that.
No, I said, do I have to watch for the clap, not catching it?
Oh,
Tim,
you'll-
where's your
okay.
mind at tonight,
It
Tim?
won't sneak by
Well,
you.
believe me, you will not miss that scene. That
Okay,
scene
so there is
jumps
some
off
sort
the
of
page
clap.
at you. There's
Okay.
a scene with a sheet coming off of a laundry that is just freaky. There's, I mean, I can mention in very broad terms a number of the big scares that happen in this movie. And what I like, unlike Insidious, I think Insidious falls apart when you go into Ghostland. This movie, I think, maintains its tone and remains frightening throughout it. It really is an old-fashioned haunting. It's like the movie The Haunting to me a lot. It really holds your attention, and it does so in an interesting way. The first 5 minutes, they show Annabelle. Now, Annabelle has gone on, and she's got 3 movies to herself. And
Tim, wait. May I stop you for a moment?
Yes, ma'am.
Who's the maker of the Annabelle doll?
The maker of the Annabelle doll. You probably know him, right? Tracy?
Yes. Am I gone?
You're here. You're back.
Oh,
Okay. So, who's the maker of the Annabelle doll, Tracy?
Tony Rosen, and he's the sweetheart.
Okay.
He's
Like,
worked
take it
on
out for
both
the
Family
movie.
Possessions and Among Us too.
Excellent.
I
know the Annabelle doll was kind of when this movie first came out, it was going on parade. It was going to every convention around the country because we all know Mike from our show. He
Yeah.
has pictures with Annabelle, I think, in 4 different states where this thing appeared at the time the movie came out. Now, and it is interesting, the supposed real Annabelle doll isn't just a standard Raggedy Ann doll.
Yep.
So they made the decision, we're going to make something that's super freaking scary here.
He did a great job on it.
In the
He really did.
the first 6 minutes is the Annabelle story. I don't even know if it's a full 6 minutes because I remember telling people, oh, it's the first 10 minutes are incredible with Annabelle. It's really good and scary. And then I rewatched this just like a week ago. I'm like, good grief. It's barely in there. It's like 5 minutes and that whole thing was done. But it packs a punch. It packs a heck of a punch, that little opening scene. And that kind of sets the scene for the rest of the movie. It's like, you're going to see some creepy stuff. You're not going to be able to explain what you're seeing. Buckle up. It's fun. Now, this movie reminds me a lot of Poltergeist as well.
Oh, no.
I believe it does because when Ed and Lorraine show up, they show up with an audio-visual guy that's setting things up in the house. And that reminds me so much of Poltergeist. My favorite characters were those college kids that came in and are setting things up. So I really enjoy that aspect of it. But I think, as much as I think Poltergeist is a really scary movie, I think this movie is much more frightening. And it earns the scares. It isn't jump cuts, somebody jumping out and saying ooga booga. They build it. Like I say, one of the scariest things in this movie is just hearing somebody clap twice.
Yeah.
That is bizarre to me. It's kind of like, and I know this is something some people don't like and others do, but the end of Blair Witch Project, where that kid's standing in the corner, that is a very earned scare. It's very earned. They set it up, and then you see that at the end, and you're like, oh no, bang. That is really well done. This movie, they set stuff up, and you're like, no, don't do that to that poor guy from Office Space. He'll get those reports for you. No. No, you ain't gonna get the reports. He's in trouble. You know, his wife's about to be possessed. So it's really a great movie. Now, I have to tell you this. You're both horror fans. You'll love this movie. I made the choice to show this movie to my not very horror movie fan buddy Jeff, who's on Dead on the Bases with me. He's a sports fan. He thought Fright Night, the original Fright Night from '85, he thought that was like one of the scariest things he ever saw. So I was like, hold my beer, right? And I'm like, here, watch this one. I am very proud of Jeff. He watched the entire movie.
Wow.
But he was freaked out. And we have his entire freak out on video now, so that's the last week's show. So if you want to watch a grown man cry, there you go. But you know, and somebody in chat actually suggested that I was not a good friend allowing him to see that movie. I won't name that person, but I don't think this is a beginner's horror movie. This is not a beginner's horror movie. This is a movie you work up to. I thought I worked him up to it by showing him the original King Kong the week before.
Wait, the original what?
I went from Fright Night, King Kong, and then I hit him with Conjuring.
Oh my God. You're a terrible human being.
Well, I was like, let's see. He okay. In my defense, he has an ever-growing list of movies that he said I can't assign to him, including Halloween, Amityville Horror.
What?
So yeah,
Which one's Amityville Horror? You can give
Amityville-
him a different one.
Well, when he said no Amityville Horror, I'm like,
Why not?
no problem. I've got a haunted house movie that'll fit the bill perfectly.
The Conjuring?
Yes, it was. So, yeah, Peggy and Tracey, send me some ideas for next season with Jeff. I can't wait.
Okay.
Gonna do some horrible things to that poor guy.
Oh.
But, well, he doesn't
Poor
like
guy.
slashers. He doesn't like slashers, so he's kind of cut off Halloween and Freddy and Jason and that stuff from me. So I'm like, okay, it's gonna be monster movies, but I gotta
Does he
find
care about-
monster movies that are actually frightening. So I know I'm gonna hit him. He's too.
Well, don't give him the Babadook.
He's too scaredy pants to watch this show. So I know I'm gonna hit him with The Thing. That's gonna happen for sure.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah,
Good
I'm
one.
gonna hit him with The Thing, but I
Does he
haven't
have the
decided what
objection?
all.
Does he object to like foreign horror or because I have a lot of Korean horror movies that I love and
We haven't tried him out on that yet. I'm trying to think if I'm going to do it. First of all, I want your list of Korean horror movies because I have only started with those.
Okay.
I have
I have
not seen many. And
I think I have a top 10 list of Asian horror somewhere.
Perfect.
Might be Slackjaw Punk, so I'll have to look that up.
Perfect. But I have to find the right thing. I know I can't,
Yes.
throw them into,
Like the ring.
Itchy the Killer and that sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I can't run
No.
them that direction, or I'm gonna lose a friend. I have to pick stuff that's smart.
Yes.
So that's why I gave him Tremors this week. He's got Poltergeist coming up later in the run. What was the other? I gave him another easy one that's coming up soon. So yeah, I'm easing him in, but I'm giving him enough scares so that he never really knows if he's in for something or not.
Gotcha.
I am playing. For a foreign film, I kind of am thinking, I think it's True Crimes. Is that the time loop movie from Spain? There's a time loop movie I really want to give him that's super good. I think it's called
From
True
Spain?
Crimes. I think it is.
Hmm.
I will know in a second when I type it into the porn downloader.
Type it in.
here. I mean the computer.
Google it.
I'm not supposed to say that when there's only women on the show. Why do I do that?
What the fuck did he say? What are you supposed to say when there's women on the show?
Yeah, Tim, what the fuck?
I call my browser. I call my browser the porn downloader. I just always have. What is it? It's true.
Are we allowed to say it on the podcast? Can we say fuck? Fuck, 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 fuck?
Yeah. Thank you for that. That
You're
improves
welcome, beep,
the
beep.
program. Yeah.
My calendar still says I have my fuck calendar over here.
Yes,
Yeah, you do.
you do have that calendar. I like that calendar.
That's why we love you.
No, there's more reasons, but that's a big
Yeah.
one.
I just
Oh,
want to
man.
point out, though, in your little clips here, Tim, the girl in the little red pajamas, and then Lorraine Warren with like the teenage girl. Those are from The Conjuring 2.
I know they are.
But that
And-
I liked The Conjuring 2.
I
Gaia.
know they're into Conjuring too, but they were really good gifts, and I'm like, I'm just
But
gonna
that's
put those
actually-
up there.
No, the second movie is actually pretty good. I think.
I think it's not as good as the first one.
No,
Okay.
What's
It
the
is
name of the second one? Is it just Annabelle?
Conjuring
it's
2.
just The Conjuring 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
And then it's
there's-
Annabelle,
There
right?
are apparently 7 or 8 Conjuring movies at
What?
this point, because there's 3 with Annabelle alone. There's
Yeah,
the
and then the
Nun.
Oh,
Nun.
God.
The Nun
The
was
Nun.
not bad. I kind of liked it.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, then.
Okay, it's called Time Crimes, and it's all one word. That's
Time
why.
Crimes.
Time Crimes.
All right.
It is, if you liked the movie The Triangle, this movie beats The Triangle like a little baby seal.
I don't
It is really good. This is.
Where's it from?
Let's see. It's Spanish language. I'm not sure. It says Mexico here.
Okay.
Or, wait a minute. No, that was the wrong line.
Okay. Because Spain makes
No,
some.
it does say Spain. It does say Spain
makes
where
some
I'm looking.
really
Oh my
good
goodness, Rico.
horror.
I honestly would put Time Crimes as one of the most intelligent time travel movies I've seen.
Okay.
What is the other one? There's the one with the box. What the hell is that called?
With the box.
Oh,
Pretty
see,
fair
this
there.
is bad when I start getting in that hole. Time travel
Heidi.
smart. Let's try that.
Time travel.
Yeah, it's not going to help me there.
But Tracey,
It-
no, definitely you should see The Conjuring. It's actually really, really well done.
Conjuring
I know.
It's a really good
is
ghost
a
story.
horror movie that if you enjoy the feeling of fear, if you
Yeah.
enjoy the feeling of fear, this is the movie you should check out.
Well, I'm going to do it because I worked with Tony Rosen and he's awesome. So I want to see his work on film. So
I think you're really you're in for a
not
good
that I
time.
haven't with the ones we made together, but again,
Well,
It's-
that's different though, right?
The
Because you
Conjuring.
always come to that movie with a very different feel, right? When you've
What do you
made the
mean?
movie, I
do
would
you mean?
think that
what do you mean?
it's hard to watch it as the movie. Wouldn't it always kind of feel a little bit like home movies? I don't know. I've never made a movie.
I mean, honestly, now I can't really enjoy films because I'm critiquing them.
Right.
Like, or I'm educating myself on good, look at how they frame that out, or
Yeah.
just my eyes are different now. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
So, and there are some
Yeah.
that I enjoy because I truly tried to put that part away because I used to always enjoy film, like,
Right.
but
Right.
it's just really hard now because I'm like, oh God, continuity, the liquid in the glass. And with me, I'm a stickler for stuff like that. I'm like, no, that's not how, you know what I mean? I don't know what the word is I can use right now.
I finally found it. Okay, this is the name of the very good time travel movie. Have you ever heard of
Yay!
Primer?
Primer.
Yeah, it's not a horror movie. This is a sci-fi movie, but it's called Primer, and literally, you need to sit down and watch. You cannot. Same thing with Time Crimes. You have to sit down and watch because there's so much stuff going on and multiple timelines and all this. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. Primer.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun. But for the horror movie fans, Time Crimes, I might even that might be the one to start Jeff out with, because it is so it is so different in its storytelling to have what seems like it's a slasher movie turn into a time travel movie. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Now I'm hoping I can start sliding them into some slashers so I can get them Leslie Vernon. I want to do that really bad. But anyway, it is time for me to do my grading.
Grading it.
Grading. All
Grading
right,
it.
let's see. We are going to grade this movie. I haven't thought about this. What should I grade this one? It's very
Oh my
frightening. I think I'm going to go with a regular straight 8. I think it's truly a great movie. I'm reserving the A+ because I kind of save that for movies that I can't wait to watch again. And I'll be honest with you, I watched Conjuring. I'm kind of good for a little bit here. It is pretty darn taxing, to watch that movie. You sit there and you're like, okay. And I watched it at night this time, and I was thinking immediately I should have watched this during the day. What am I doing? It was just it has a resonance for a couple of days after watching it. Where I watched Tremors last night, that didn't affect me, but I really enjoyed it and had a lot of fun. And frankly, if we got done with the movie, the show early, I would have ran down and watched it again. It's just one of those movies I can't watch enough of. This one, I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Maybe 5-6 years, I'll be ready again, to watch it again.
I felt that way about what was it, Host? That just came out on Shudder last year. It was like,
Wait.
It's the horror movie about being in a Zoom call. They were having a seance.
I have not seen that one. Wow.
That was the one I
haven't seen that one either.
And then the next day I watched it again. It scared the shit out of me.
Oh, wow.
But I went back the next day and watched it because I'm like, okay, I want to see if there are any clues or anything I missed the first time. And I did. I did miss something and I was looking for it. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I knew it. And it was very, very well done. It's only an hour.
Oh, really?
So it's nice, good length. It's really gets to the point. Yeah.
I say that so often. The other guys make fun of me for this, but I feel like horror movies do not go for that 2-hour mark. Don't go for it. Okay?
They shouldn't.
80 to 90 minutes is about all they should be ever, in my opinion. There is not a story. Now, this one I think was pretty long, Conjuring. But they kind of did that by putting a lot of little side stories got shoved in here.
Right.
So they were able to fill that time. But in general, I guess my point would be you don't want an epic horror movie. You want to have a beginning, middle, and end and out, And that's why I find horror television series so fascinating, because I'm like, how do you keep coming back to the same scare? How do you do that?
Some people are just good at that.
True.
Like the creative minds, like
I'll tell you,
they're just really good at creating stuff like that.
The TV series that impressed me with that, there's two of them, Darren McGavin and Night Stalker. I actually think that TV series is actually still scary, and that was made mid-70s, something like that.
70s, yeah.
Or early 70s. It could have been early 70s. But the other TV show that I bring this up ad nauseum too is The Strain. I thought The Strain was scary at points. There were parts where I was like, that's some freaked out stuff. I'm not comfortable right now. And that's what I always tell Jeff is I said, fear a lot of times just is nervousness in the viewer. It's just feeling nervous for those people that are on the screen. And that's how it manifests himself. For him, it manifests himself in a diaper. Okay. Yes, that's my friend. I'm so nice.
Baby or adult?
All right. So we've gotten to that part of the show where we take a look at the website, what's going on the website. There it comes. Otherworldlyculture.com. Of course, we have our big promo for tonight's show. We got some reviews from The Crypt. We have Horror Realm Radio. If you haven't been listening to Horror Realm Radio, you really should check it out. Rich and Mike, and they actually, for people that like The Conjuring, they talk about the Cecil Hotel quite a bit on this one, which is one of the famous haunted locations in the country. So they have a great show. We got, my Dead on the Bases. This is the one right here, inning 3. This is the one you want to watch if you want to see a grown man cry. That's it right there. Loads of fun. Now, I'm not the only one with a website around these parts. Peggy is at themonkeyisin.com. You can check that out. Did I get the right logo and everything up there?
Yep.
That's
Yep.
not bad.
Yay,
All
Peggy.
right.
Good job. Good job.
And I believe you have quite a few ways where people can buy your various books and stories and all that stuff, right?
Yep. There's links to everything. Either Amazon. I have a personal store. Yeah. There's every way to get it. It's all good.
Fantastic.
Get it. It's from Peggy.
Tracy, there we go. There's Tracy. Tracy is at tracydeleon.com. You can check
Still
her
under
out.
construction, of course.
Or you can go to IMDb, and I'll tell you this because I know this about acting. If you like an actress like I like Tracy, you go out to her IMDb page every day and get those hits up. And that helps them get jobs sometimes. So please, everybody that's listening, go out to Tracy's IMDb every day and just hit that. So when she's out for a job, they look at her IMDb number and go, hey, look, people are looking at this. Fantastic.
Oh, you're a sweetheart, Tim.
Well, every day, it's part of my morning routine. Open it up.
I missed you, Tim.
The button.
We need a dinner.
Yes,
Our
we
Days
do.
of the Dead dinners are done. What happened?
It's
What
called a
happened?
pandemic, dear.
Damn it. Damn it.
What? What is this you say? I've heard
We're going to
nothing
have to
in
have
the
Peggy
news.
come to a dinner now. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, we're going to have some good times coming up here. All right.
Yes.
But we are overtime, which there's 3 of us and we went overtime. So that's impressive. But I think we had a great, great
wonderful
discussion tonight.
That's fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I want to thank everybody that came out, participated in the chat, and watched, and all of you that continue to download us on, we're on iTunes. We're on Google Podcasts. We are out on Amazon Music, which is the way I like to listen to it, because I can just say, hey, Echo Machine, with that E word that you say. As I listen to Dead On Movie Reviews, and it starts playing the latest episode. It's really cool. I just think that's neat. That's a fun Alexa trick for you to do. Oh, sorry. Sorry, dear. Sorry. But yeah.
Listening.
She's like, what's going on over there? I need
What's
to get
happening?
involved.
Heard my
So
name.
everybody, really want to thank you for continuing to download us and listen to us in Stitcher and TuneIn, all those great places. And we're going to close up the show like I always do, which now that I have a professional author around here, I need help with this closing that I do on the show. I'm growing tired of this quote. I'm talking about you, yes. This is such a lame ending, but we'll say it anyway. And remember, as John Carpenter once said, horror is a reaction. It's not a genre. See what I mean? It's just not there. It's not there.
Peggy will work with you and help you out, Tim.
I hope so. Thanks, everybody. Otherworldlyculture.com. I know you can't hear it, but there's really spooky sounds going. Really spooky.
Boots and boots and boots.
Super spooky.
Puppy monkey baby.
Stuff like that.
Puppy monkey baby. Puppy monkey baby.
Beep, beep.
Those are some weird
Monkey.
man.
Puppy monkey baby. 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 Puppy monkey baby.
We're going to have to come up with a little dance.